Hey, welcome back to GT Canada and this episode of Car Stories. If you haven't been here before, make sure that you subscribe down below and hit that like button so that YouTube will push this video up so that everybody else can enjoy the content that you're watching and enjoying. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Today I want to talk to you guys about Toyota. If you've been to the channel before, you know that I've talked about my Ford Flex being the worst car ever. You know I've talked about my relationship with Dodge and how great that's going. And why wouldn't I want to talk about Toyota? So I only want to talk about one specific part of Toyota today, and that would be a frame rust issue. Now, if you've been around the internet for the last at least 5 years, you may have heard that Toyota has a frame rust issue, and they actually lost a class action lawsuit due to frames rusting. And we're not talking about just a little bit of rust. We're talking about completely rusting away to the point that the box and the cab cave in on each other and break. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I thought the same thing. How can Toyota, the indestructible truck, the truck that you've probably seen on one of those other car shows where they tried to completely destroy a Toyota Hilux, which was sold as the 4Runner in Canada. And in the end, that frame actually did break as well, but it wasn't due to frame rust. It was due to them putting it on top of a building and blowing the building up. I'd say there's not many cars out there that can handle falling from the sky as a building blows up and still drive away, yet this Toyota did. So we know that the olden days, i.e. the 80s and 90s Toyotas, were really durable and they lasted quite well. So what changed? Well, according to Toyota in the class action lawsuit, what changed was they had to outsource the frame building to keep up with demand. So they went to a third party. Third party is always a bad idea. And the reason is, when you go third party, you never go with the highest bidder. You force everybody to outbid each other, and they go lower and lower and lower until you've got the guy that says, I can do this cheaper than you can do it. And then Toyota says, hey, I like the sound of that. If we can get the frames for less, we can make more money, because we're certainly not gonna charge less for our trucks. Why would we do that, right? Because people will pay for a premium product. And unfortunately, Toyota does have a very healthy Toyota tax. I'm gonna save that rant for another day. There were definitely no price breaks to consumers because Toyota was getting a good deal on third-party frames. They went along with it, and they didn't ask, how are you getting the cost so cheap? Well, it turns out that some poor owners found out the hard way how those prices got cheaper, and that was in poor quality steel and poor rust inhibitor processes. And I think when they talk about rust inhibiting, really they're just saying the paint was thin. That's like, in everyday terms, that's what it means. They just didn't paint that part very good, and it was exposed to weather, and the steel was poor quality steel, so it got water, it got wet. You know, people drove the car on the road and it got wet. It maybe rained that day and the steel got wet. So you got wet steel, you've got poor painting coverage on that steel, it starts to rust. And as the rust gets worse and worse on this crappy quality steel, what happens? Well, eventually it rusts so bad that it actually breaks. And there were a few cases where it had broken. And originally Toyota didn't want to take ownership. They said, no, this guy obviously is not taking care of his truck. And the guy had to eat it. Actually, he ate the cost. Another guy came forward and said, well, my frame's rusting too. And then another guy, and eventually there was enough guys that a class action lawsuit came out. Toyota lost that class action lawsuit. So now they're forced to go and start recalling trucks that they know had these inferior third-party frames. I happen to work with an individual who recently purchased a new Toyota Tundra. And he got a letter in the mail saying, hey, your vehicle has been identified as needing a new frame. The previous owner did not get that frame, and we'd like to extend that to you. So he called the Toyota dealership, said, hey, yeah, I got this letter. It says I need a new frame. Oh my goodness, I'm so scared. They said, yeah, no problem. We will call you when your frame is here. And a while later, and I don't know how long exactly, but at some point later, the frame shows up. And they call him and say, hey, so we got your frame, we got your car scheduled, we need to book an appointment to change your frame. And he says, now I just want to be clear. There's no cost to me for this frame. And they said on the phone, no. We lost the class action lawsuit. There is no cost to the customer for the frame. We are covering it out of the kindness of our hearts, and rest assured we will make this right. And he said, well, that sounds like a good deal. Sign me up. So he books an appointment. He gets a call the day before the appointment to say, hey, just a heads up. We've got everything lined up. We're ready to go. Your appointment's tomorrow. I just want to make sure you're still good to go. Now, he still doesn't believe that this is actually free. So he says to the service manager, are you sure there's no cost to me for this? And the guy says, no, for the frame swap, there is no cost. He says, however, during the swap, if we come across any components that need to be replaced, you would have to pay for those because that's not part of the frame swap. And he says, oh, okay, so now I see what you're talking about here. Now the truth's starting to come out. So he says, can you tell me what is the low side of people that have had them changed? What's the low side of what they've had to pay? And what's the high side? And the guy says, well, the cheapest one we've done so far is $1,000. And he's like, ooh, $1,000. Okay, what's the high side? He says, well, the high side is $10,000. $10,000. And he says, wow, so how can I know where mine will be? And they're like, well, really, there's no way of knowing until we just start doing the work, and then we'll let you know when we're done. Now there's the catch. So Toyota is basically doing a frame-up restoration. A frame swap is not an easy job. I don't know if any of you have tried swapping a frame on a vehicle before. If you've done a body lift before, you know kind of the things that are involved in at least separating the cab from the frame, but you're not removing it completely. You're just undoing some bolts and loosening some clips so that your wires have enough space, and then jacking that cab up. To take the cab all the way off, that's a lot. There's a lot. And on Canadian roads, we've got salt and sand for at least 6 months out of the year. Everything gets corroded, your suspension. And no offense to Toyota techs, because techs in general, I don't think are very careful. At least not at a dealership. If you run your own shop, I bet you're a lot more careful because you have a lot more connection to your customer. You know that you need to take care of your customer, keep costs low so they keep coming back. At a dealership, they don't care. They don't ever see you. The tech doesn't talk to you. The tech talks to the service manager. The service manager talks to the guy that they hired at the front desk. The guy at the front desk, he talks to you. There's 3 degrees of separation, so there's no ownership. So I don't think they're going to be very careful. So suddenly his free frame swap turned into at least $1,000 swap. Now, add to this, he just bought this truck. And he only paid just over $10,000 for this truck. Now imagine taking a truck that you believe has no problems and taking it to the Toyota dealership. Are they really going to just swap that frame and say, yeah, everything's good, there's no cost? They're going to find something. A 250 to 280,000 kilometers on a Canadian driven car, something's going to break. So needless to say, he canceled the appointment. He said, never mind, I don't need a new frame. I hope he has checked for the areas where the frame has been known to rot, because there are people that have figured out ways to patch it with actual proper steel and make a big patch area and weld it on and then treat it properly so that they don't have an issue, which I think is a lot cheaper. Toyota obviously can't do that because that's a hack. That's a hack job. It's a MacGyver fix. I won't use the derogatory term, but it's really rigged up nicely. So it'll work. No doubt, it will work. And if you've done this before, you already know it's just as strong or stronger than the actual frame when you're done. And if you box it out properly, there's no concerns that it's going to rust away or anything. So you can do it, and you can make it a very high quality repair. But it is still a repair that is designed to be easier, not necessarily the right repair. The good news from this whole story is that it appears that Toyota is still being diligent with their frame repair class action lawsuit, which has been going on for a lot of years. They are still diligently tracking down new owners and making sure that they're aware that their vehicle has a recall, and it could be a very serious safety concern if they don't address it, and they're willing to work with you. So that is a gold star for Toyota. I have other reasons why I'm not very happy with Toyota, but again, that's a story for another day. If you're interested in that story, I would encourage you, subscribe to the channel down below, hit that bell, and that'll give you all the notifications as they come out when the next video drops. But I know you like these videos, so if you want to check out more, I've got some great videos right here that you can see. A lot of different variety on this channel. A lot of how-tos, tips, tricks, all that stuff. So I hope there's something that keeps you interested and wants you to keep coming back. But until next time, have a great day.